This opening is just for our friend Clobbering Time!
Why, it's Mr. Spock. Buried alive. Buried alive. More! Johnny 2!
Remember this well. There shall be no peace as long as Kirk lives.
Come on.
To fly apart.
Fly apart then.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Mornings of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki. Good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing? It's Friday. Yeah! And I decided, you know what? We slogged through a mediocre season in season 3 of the Orville. How about we talk about some of the best parts of what we've experienced on the Orville? We don't have to talk about season 3. We don't have to talk about any of that jazz. We can talk about whatever we want to, because this is all about the Orville as a whole, not about this last season. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Hey.
Good morning. I heard the other day that there was a celebration. Do you want me to bring that up at all, or do you just want me to leave you alone about it?
I'm indifferent, man. I have no say in it.
So yesterday was Clobbering Times' birthday. Valhalla, give Clobbering Times a warm, on fire Valhalla happy birthday for Clobbering Times.
No, that's not necessary, but you can't stop you. I've learned that I can't stop anybody. So at least it's not today. That's a good thing. So one thing I really love about August the 12th or August the 10th, I love them both because they're not the 11th. I'm the only one. I think I'm the only idiot in existence that has that. There's no important people that have that birthday, so that's the good thing. You know how some people, like, you find out who was born the same day as me. You know, you can that kind of stuff. Let's see: Emperor Palpatine, Thor, as in Chris Hemsworth, and Joe Rogan. That's about it, I think. So, which is good because they get to take the responsibility for that birthday and not me. I don't
It
think
was
there's anybody else.
international. It was International Klobby Day
Oh, yeah.
yesterday.
Hey, Chris, too kind, man. He was another one that wouldn't leave it alone. They all, Raquel, Mark.
Did
They
she
all
sing you a
conspired
happy
against me.
birthday? Did Raquel sing you happy birthday?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember now. But they were all conspiring against me.
Mansquatch says you made it around again. This way you fended off
Thank
death.
you.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I didn't have to. Does anyone remember? Because when you get to our age range, or even a little less, do you remember all your damn birthdays? I remember like I was talking about yesterday. I remember 3 of them, maybe 4, if you push me to it, out of a zillion birthdays. Like I was saying, if you say, what were you doing on your 31st birthday? I'll go, I don't know. About 47. I don't know. About 93. Well, can't remember that one either. About 25. Nope. Maybe 4 at the most.
Shoot, I can remember one.
Well, there you go. That's what I mean. I'm just curious how if anyone else has the same deal. Like they're, you're going, man. Oh yeah, I can tell you what I did every birthday. I mean, I can't remember barely remember last year. It was just nothing. Although I got better food. My biggest thing on my birthday is I get to go to my intimate deal at my mom's and she'll make jambalaya for me. I didn't get jambalaya yesterday, but I got a lot of noise. I wanted the jambalaya. Sorry, go ahead.
Nothing beats a good bowl of jambalaya.
Especially my mom's. That's birthday with Rasputin. That's pretty good. Which one?
I like to think that I share a birthday with the biggest sci-fi prank ever told, and that was War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds came out on the radio, the big radio production that had mountain men running around in their pickup trucks with their shotguns, thinking they were going to go fight aliens. The radio broadcast happened on my birthday. So,
what year was that? A Halloween, right?
That was the day before. That was the day before. It was October 30th. Yeah.
The only birthday I remember was I turned 13 on the Friday the 13th, and I can remember that.
That's memorable. There you go. By the way, on that one that you on yours, your that Halloween or that pre-Halloween one, the thing with the War of the Worlds. Did you? I mean, basically what happened is it was the black Lectroids and the red Lectroids, and Orson Welles was hypnotized, and that when he reported that, he knew that it was the invasion from the 8th dimension. And then later they hypnotized him into saying no, it was just a hoax. I mean, you knew about that, right?
Oh yeah.
So it actually really happened. Sorry, I'm not awake. 13 on the 13th. That would be you couldn't help but remember that one.
Turning 21 on a Sunday sucked. Yeah, you can't get any alcohol. Oh, how horrible would that have been?
Especially in his state, which I don't, didn't you have to be like 29 to ever? Oh, they had blue laws back then. Yep. Yeah, because I don't know, is Mark old enough for the blue laws?
Yeah, Mark's old enough for the blue laws.
Yeah, I mean, Mark's pretty young now.
No transporting alcohol over state lines.
No, I'm not sure.
You couldn't even buy anything on Sunday in Louisiana.
And his Alabama is just as bad.
So yeah, you're doubly screwed. No alcohol on Sunday. No way to get across the state line to buy alcohol.
Yeah. That's over. They don't have that anymore.
No alcohol on Sunday. What weird place is that? Well, that was Texas growing up. It was like that for a long time. Couldn't buy alcohol on Sunday.
Yeah.
All the liquor stores were closed on Sunday. Couldn't buy beer or anything in the they couldn't sell beer in the gas stations. So
still can't buy hard liquor here on Sundays. You can buy beer, but you can't buy hard liquor.
They still have that? I thought wasn't that like the blue laws?
No, they changed that here back in I think 2012, 2013 to where you could buy alcohol in a gas station. Hell, when I moved to Missouri, I had never seen hard liquor in a Walmart until I moved to Missouri. And I was like, holy shit, they have a whole hard liquor section in Walmart.
We got that.
Never saw that before.
Yeah, we got that. Down there where you're at, though, they got some great liquor stores.
Where? Here?
No, down there we're in Houston.
Houston. Planet Houston.
I actually lived there for 5 years. God help me, and I hated every damn minute of it.
Are you the ruler of this planet, Houston?
Oh, Planet Houston?
Planet Houston. Oh my God. Mark says I'm 50 plus, so yes, I remember that.
Yeah. You're old enough, dude.
Nortapubus Cuber says I remember stores putting plywood up to block certain aisles on Sunday.
Yeah.
I live in Vegas, so that's a foreign concept to me. Yeah. Alcohol all the time. We like our booze in Missouri. Yes, we do. Okay. Well, anyway, I don't know we can hop on all of that, but we're going to do a part 1 of a retrospective on the Orville. We need no longer fear the banana. I should have just called it that. We need no longer fear the banana. Greatest episodes. Clobby, if you want to start us off, unless you're like, still trying to wake up.
If we're talking about the actual Orville show and not that last season thing we saw.
Yeah.
I think actually my favorite episode was probably Majority Rule.
Oh gosh, now you done stole my thunder.
the Facebook episode or the Twitter episode, whatever you want to call it. It was just extraordinary. It was inventive. It had a sort of a throwback feel to the original Trek, in the sense that they would go to a planet that's very much, and people just look like Earth. It was Hodgkin's laws of parallel planets. The original, as Kirk referred to it, where bread and circuses, patterns of force, return of the Ark. Planets that were just like Earth, in other words, and except something happened that made them different. And this case,
like the cons, and I love that episode.
And
I love that episode.
Yes, the up votes, down votes thing, which of course was dealt with, mentioned a little bit in that last episode of last season. But that episode to me was just extraordinarily clever. What a brute! Not only, again, unlike this third season, not only a daring and a brilliant concept, but dealt with perfectly. I mean, absolutely flawless in terms of the way the execution. You buy into it, as crazy as the idea is. Everything works, and even the humor's great. But in this episode, it's not about the humor. They managed to make it funny and scary about what we're looking at, where we are. Again, this was a perfect way to make social commentary on this show without preaching, without, as Raquel always likes to call it, hyper-didacticism. In other words, about taking one side. Right. And it's brilliant. So I'm sorry. Was I echoing?
I think you are.
I don't know why.
I hear myself too. I don't know what that is. Whatever it is, it stopped. Go ahead, sir.
No. Go ahead, Dave. If you had something to say about that episode,
nothing. I was just going to say that to me is my favorite episode too. Was Majority Rules. I like you. I thought it was clever, and it was. I mean, it's spot on. I mean, just kind of making light of what's going on in society and everything, and not hitting you over the head with it. Just kind of casually easing it in there, and it was, to me, it was a very, very insightful and well-written episode.
It was incredible because, I mean, this is when this show knew what it was doing. It didn't hit one side of anything. It hit everybody.
Yeah,
it hit it hit something that we could all relate to. That everyone, no matter what side you happen to be on, has both complained about and been concerned about in terms of social media. The execution was flawless. I thought the humor was there, but it started off with a ridiculous scene with Lamar dancing on the statue and stuff, and God, it's it was what the show was already really good at the point. I can't remember exactly where this place is in the first season, when it was already really intriguing. I was already really enjoying it, and that one, when I saw that one, I said, this is a show that will be reckoned with. I mean, yes, it's funny. Yes, they've already had some very interesting science fiction concepts, but this is a show that's allegory and other things too. That episode put it on the map in terms of taking it seriously. I know it's not, in a sense, it wasn't all that serious, and yet it was. Taking it seriously, that was just that's the one that really did that for me, that put it on the map that way.
Do you think that they had more fun then?
Oh God,
in that first season.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about the cast. The cast seems
I
like
don't know. I mean, yeah,
the cast really does. I mean, if having fun reflects in your work, the cast seems like it's having more fun in this first season than any other season to me.
Oh yeah, I mean they were having a blast.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell they were enjoying every second of it.
I agree. And as much as there are people who will say that the second season is better, which is, I love it. It's a solid, great season. I think they did a lot more did a lot more small stories that season that were interesting, that were almost like bottle episodes in a lot of cases, where they were just on the ship
Episodic,
but still pretty good. But I think some of the more bold and ambitious episodes were in the first season for me. What was, oh God, I'm forgetting the title. The one where they went to the ship where on the inside was like a planet inside.
The one with Liam Neeson, where Liam Neeson was the old captain.
Right. They didn't know that they were they thought they were on a planet, not a ship. Pure Star Trek. Beautifully done. Perfect again. And yet they still had some of the crazy humor in it. Some of the off-the-wall humor was in there as well. And that show was fun and fascinating, and just again, that's another one which is really early on. It blew me away. I'm like, the show's special. It's not just because look, when I went in, like a lot of people just thought it was going to be a comedy or like a parody, and I was fine with that. I thought it'd be fun. I mean, I was not a fan of McFarlane in any way ever in anything he did, but I said, okay, I get just a spoof show of science fiction, Star Trek, and things like that. That's okay. I'll watch that. And it fooled all of us by looking like that, by seeming like that on the surface, but having so much more going on, even in the first episode, but even, of course, especially in the second one, which ripped off a Twilight Zone episode very well with the zoo.
Yes, where they're on the planet where they keep the people like zoo animals.
Right.
Yes,
even that, which was funny, was a fascinating idea, and a very, again, it showed you, this is a comedy, but is it really? I mean, it's that, but it's other things. So,
yeah, there was a few episodes like Firestorm and stuff like that kind of got down into the weeds.
Yeah, I wasn't too big on that one.
Sagador of 9 says, I miss the sight gags where the tiny little security officer, Alara. Oh my God, I love Alara.
Oh, yeah, right.
Got to break step. Alara, open the jar of pickles for me.
Open the door.
Yeah. Always fun. Again, that's one of the things that was over the top humor about the show, but that's okay. You just bought into it. You go, all right, they have a Kryptonian. I mean, it's Leia, sorry.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Isaac took off Gordon's leg.
That was fantastic.
Oh my God.
Stuff like that. And it blended, and I can't, which episode was that now? That's been, I'm bad with memory right now, but
I can't remember what episode.
It wasn't even the primary focus of the episode, but it was great.
Oh yeah, and Jaloja, the start of the second season. Oh my God,
Jaloja.
That was fun.
Jaloja.
Yeah. Again, then the show was so clever in the first two seasons. Yeah.
I miss that.
Boy, do I miss it. I mean, I would have accepted even half to be half as good as it was in the first two.
There were only like 2 episodes that I could even really, well, maybe 3 that this season that I actually kind of liked. I mean, the very first one was okay. Yeah,
I actually like that one the best.
Yeah, that the first one was the best, no doubt about it.
They had some really great guest stars too. We brought up Liam Neeson.
Yeah, they didn't do that this season, did they? Almost.
Other than Bruce Boxleitner.
Charlize Theron as Priya, right? Right after the episode with Liam Neeson. They had so many wonderful guest stars from Star Trek.
A lot of Trek people, including both 2 doctors. They had on Celea. They had
the 2 doctors,
Enterprise,
and Robert Picardo.
Yep, the Enterprise doctor and Voyager's doctor.
That's right. That was fun. It was a good episode.
MB Geek Let's Talk with a $5 super chat says that episode highlighted that even if you are found innocent, if others think you are guilty from SM, you are still guilty. Ex Rittenhouse case.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal.
And thank you, Jesse, for that $5 super chat.
That was when I was starting to have my gained some really, which turned out to be misplaced respect for Seth MacFarlane. And when I saw he could do that and he could talk about everybody. But their other great was it still first season? Why am I can't believe I'm fuzzy. I've watched them so many times, it's ridiculous. The one with the when they went to the planet of the Zodiac.
That was second season.
Something to do with birthday cake or whatever. So
that was second season.
Okay, There you go. That was great. There were some things I probably would have done differently on that episode, but it was a brilliant idea. It was real, pretty much very well done.
Gun Bunny brings up a really good point. Gun Bunny says, I love watching how Bortus was a parent in all the seasons. From sitting on his egg, I must sit on my egg, Captain.
Yeah, that was on the second episode.
To the birth of their child, Clyden and Bortus's child.
About a boy. Yeah.
About a boy. And the court, everything, all of it, all the stuff with Bortus and Clyden. Clyden was always so overbearing, and Clyden is like, I am in a relationship and I want this and I want it now. Well, sometimes it doesn't work out like that, but I want this and I want it now. Bortus, I want this and I want it now. Who hasn't dated someone that was like, I want this and I want it now? Well, too fucking bad.
Hell, he killed Bortus. Just
killed him.
Yeah.
But Bortus was fine with it.
That's the way they divorce.
It was so funny. It was so insane that when he killed him, you just watched it and you went with it. The episode was funny. It was disturbing. That episode was disturbing. The the Mocklin porn episode, I probably could have done without it, but I admit it was funny. Yeah.
I liked that episode because it showed how broken their relationship really was. It showed how much Bortus was holding back and not allowing Clyden to kind of get away with what Clyden had gotten away with.
Yeah.
Some people would immediately point a finger and blame Bortus for everything that happened, but it's a lot deeper than that because Bortus felt betrayed by the person that's supposed to be the closest person to him.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, that episode where they found the
cigarettes. Oh my god!
The cigarettes, and
one
where he had the mustache.
The flavor of the cigarettes. The flavor. I'm just
that's hilarious.
And if you
using the banana gun to light the cigarette.
If you've ever smoked and had a relationship with someone that does smoke and you both try and quit at the same time, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get cigarettes hidden all over the house. You're going to get cigarettes hidden on poster frames. You're going to get cigarettes hidden in bathrooms. You're going to get cigarettes hidden everywhere because that's the way it really is. Oh my God, I gotta have just one. I gotta have one. I gotta have a backup one just in case. So I gotta hide it somewhere. I gotta stash it. It's your cigarette stash.
Yep. That's crazy. That About a Boy episode is another example of how I don't consider that to be political. I consider it to be, now again, in retrospect, you got to look back and go, how in the hell did they ever let the Mocklands in the union? But you got to just gonna forget about that. That episode was poignant and powerful, and because at the end they didn't, the side that you were on, that everybody was on in the audience, lost. And because
that was back when there was a little bit more clever writing and not a club over the head.
It wasn't. I mean, sure, it was preachy. Trek was preachy sometimes, but preachy doesn't necessarily mean political. I mean, it means it was moralizing about it, and but it was very even-handed, and it showed both sides very well. And it said, look, make up your own mind about this. That's what the show at its best was. It was to show you something. And yeah, you probably knew where the people who created the episode were coming from, what they believed, but it let you make up your own mind.
Let me ask you, gentlemen, there's an episode called Cupid's Dagger. And in that episode, you find out that the guy that Kelly cheated on Ed with at the very beginning of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Is a species that makes a hormone that makes anybody fall for them.
Yes.
And
that was pretty weird. Oh, and it was fun.
And he even has a relationship with Ed. Yeah.
Kind of makes you wonder how someone like that could even serve aboard a ship. That would be.
Durlio? Well, he was sort of an archaeologist, yeah.
Or that no one would know about this thing, this pheromone.
Ah, that's true. That's a good point, because they are members of the Union.
That's right.
Receptians or something like that. Receptians.
Yeah, and Kelly and Ed both showing off to try and get the blue guy.
That was again a comedy episode in a lot of ways, but yes, with some intelligent.
The Cosby hormone.
That's oh my God.
Man Squatch.
He went there.
God. He went there.
The ending of that episode with those two warring races, like falling in love with each other. Again, that was an example of over-the-top comedy of the show that you just kind of went with it. It was funny, but I'm like, whoa, boy. Holy crap. It was funny, though. I mean,
yeah. The humor is what made this show great. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Sure, it had serious moments, and it had, pretty poignant episodes at times, the first two seasons, but the humor was always there running in the background. I mean, they kept it grounded and kept me interested.
Yeah. Yep.
Have a great weekend, Joker. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, brother. Thank you for hopping in and tuning in, brother. The Brightest Day brings up the end of that episode, heavily implied the pheromone played no part with Kelly. I think she was going to do it anyway. I think that's kind of what they were saying it was just a matter of time before she did it anyway, because she felt ignored. Is it okay, though? Just okay, well, I feel ignored. She didn't talk to Ed about that. She didn't tell Ed about that. So Ed had no idea she felt ignored. He thought everything was hunky-dory. I'm working on my career, yada, 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 yada. Comes home, and she's banging a blue guy in their bed.
Yep.
Ed takes partial responsibility for that and said, well, it was partly my fault. I was ignoring you. I didn't see it. I should have seen it. But she should have said something too.
Yeah. Kind of negates it too here at the end of the season. This season, they're sitting there holding hands, like, kind of implying that they may be getting back together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Could happen. That's better than even though I don't know what's going to happen to the show anyway. That's better than what was it?
And Brightest Day, I really want to, I don't mean to interrupt you, Clubby, but I really want to point this out, because this is the way it should be. This is the way I felt it was for 2 seasons. I think some of the episodes in season 3 had this and some of them didn't. It was you either look at it like this or shame, which is exactly why I don't watch Star Trek anymore. Brightest Day says it left a gray area for the audience to ponder, which is exactly what it should do. And let you decide at the end of the day how you see it. Was it Ed's fault? Was it Kelly's fault? Was it both of their faults? Did they both have something to do with it? Was it completely out of their control? And was it all the blue guys' fault? How you see that is completely okay, and you shouldn't be judged for how you see it either. That's the way Star Trek used to be. That's the way the show was for, I would say, at least 2.5 seasons.
Agreed. I'd say one. I'd say two only. I'd say the show lost it all. It's all of its fairness. With the first 2 seasons, there's none in the third.
They went places they shouldn't have. Tried to get, they say they were going for the hard science fiction and whatnot and getting away from the humor. To me, they totally did something different. They went political
and soap opera too.
And got away from the humor for the most part. Sure, there were a couple of funny moments here and there, but it wasn't near about like the first 2 seasons.
No, I mean, like I said, they went for soap opera as well. In addition to the horrible political stuff that I hate that ruined the season for me, they also, let's say that didn't happen. Let's say that I still would have been probably pretty disappointed because they went for way too much the interpersonal drama stuff, the soap opera stuff, and it was the science fiction stuff usually took a back seat. There was some stuff here with that, and just that, but it's just that the horrible political stuff helped to ruin it even more for me. So
they got away from the humor though. And there were, I know before this last season started, there were people that wanted less humor, more serious. And I think they got it. They just didn't get it the way they wanted it.
I never agreed with that.
Though I think they already accomplished that. They early on, some people complained about humor. I think there was a better balance of it. But even in the second season, toward the end of it, they had toned the humor down to the point where when it was there, it was nice, but it didn't get in the way of a serious story. The balance was fine already on that, I thought.
Yeah. They took it somewhere it shouldn't have gone this season, in my opinion. My opinion was that this season just went off the rails.
I agree. Sad. But as far as the humor, I never had a problem. They like I said, they toned it down enough in the second season before it was when it was still there, but it didn't dominate anything. And I don't think they needed to fiddle with that, to be honest with you. That's just me.
Do you think that this is going to get back on track, or do you think that this is going to continue to down the line that this season has gone? Because there's a bunch of people that absolutely do not see any of the things that we've covered. This is the best television. This is the greatest series ever made. You cannot talk bad about this show. You cannot question the decisions they've made in this show. And I've seen that coming from people that I'm just like, wow, it took me a while, guys. It really did. Because Klobby was like, no, Loki, they're doing this and they're doing this. And I'm like, I don't see it that way. And it took a while. It took a long while before I was like, okay, there's the pointing the finger, the shaming, the no, it has to be this way. And the stupidity of no consequences. When there are absolutely no consequences in a show for people that do really screwed up crappy shit, that's when I start to have a problem.
That's Hollywood for you, dude. I mean, it's reflective of where this thing's coming from, Hollywood. No consequences.
No, I'm gonna tell you right now. I think they're gonna keep going down the same road, and it's just
if they bring it back.
If they bring it back, it's gone. like I said, it's gone play a place that it shouldn't have gone, and I don't think there's any coming back from it.
And it's such a shame. I mean, production wise,
Oh
it
yeah,
looked that
beautiful.
season looked better than just about anything I've ever seen. I mean, unfreaking real, man.
They make Disney look like shit.
There's been some people that have said that the last 3 or 4 seasons of Family Guy have been absolutely horrible. Seth has not been running Family Guy. Seth has been focused on the Orville. He has left Family Guy behind to other people to run, to direct, to write, and has been focused on this. And I see the same thing happening. I see the same thing happening to Orville.
I don't know if it's even coming back, but I think it's a possibility. And again, I thought I would be excited about it coming back, and I'll give it another shot, I guess, if they bring it back of all that trouble. But I'm not so sure it will. But if they do, it's going to have him. I don't think he's going to leave it to anybody else.
Let's talk about identity and identity part 2 real quick. Did you guys see the Kalon being just killing and taking out all the people, how they had the mass graves underneath their city, and the fact that they've come back from that, and now they're suddenly going to be a part of the Union?
Well, it was a unexpected thing that happened. I mean, for sure. I'm not real sure, that it happened in a manner that is believable, but there you go.
Yeah. I gotta be honest with you. When that first episode, and again, it's really good, both the 2-parter. But when it first aired, I was like, we're gonna go Borg this early, and it's gonna change the tones of the show into a war show. And of course, it turned out kind of did. And I was like, I don't know, man. Look, TNG, the Borg, it was really intriguing when they first introduced them. The Best of Both Worlds was really great and all that stuff. Although I think that should have been a little bit longer, the 3-parter, not a 2-parter. But after that, at least they got away from the Borg. They were there, but you didn't really mess with them that much. And then, of course, Voyager got obsessed with the Borg. But I was like, this is interesting what they're doing, but I don't know if we really. It's going to keep us from being more episodic, and it's going to, anytime you focus on long story arcs with wars and that kind of stuff and recurring things, you got enough trouble with the Krill. You're going to give us another. I mean, because it was really good, but I was like, I see this going in a direction where it's going to tie us down to longer plots and get us away from what I was really enjoying, which was the standalone episode. When you do this, it complicates matters.
Yeah, and they threw that spider episode in there.
Yeah.
And, there's a new threat, and they just pretty much disregarded. After that, it just disappeared.
Right. And I guess there was portents that were setting it up for later. But and they never, you're right, they just disappeared. But the Kalon didn't. And the Kalon has become. However, what they did within this season is one of the few things I didn't mind that much. I'm like, okay, at least that takes them out as a constant looming threat that helps your stories going forward. It just doesn't matter much if they don't have any more stories.
Yeah. Now they got an enemy that used to be a friend and a friend that used to be an enemy.
Yeah, and that's, again, at least that stuff's mildly interesting. They just don't. It's a bunch of them, amongst a morass of crap. So, Snorty.
It was the least objectionable part of it, anyway.
Yeah, I'm with you. And Snorty's there. What's up, Snorty?
Yep. Mentally a child gets bored with toys.
That is probably the case. Well, again, it's reflective of Hollywood people, isn't it?
Do you think there was any, Brightest Day brings this up, do you think there was any studio interference?
I don't. I think it's the other way around. I think they just took the cuffs off and let them do whatever they wanted to do.
And that's something I completely 100% agree with. I think 20th Century Fox kept them from going too far to one side and
Right.
said, no, we want it to be fun. We want it to be sci-fi. We want people laughing. I don't think it was we want Family Guy in space, but I think it was more of we want it to be fun and we want people to have a good time
Right.
and we want people to laugh and we don't want you lecturing at people.
I don't know that happened, but it's quite possible. And this case, they just said, hey, when this happened, this deal, they said, hey, go do whatever you want to do. Your show is very well liked. A lot of people want to see it. We got all this. We got to wait it took 3.5 years to do it. But I think they said, hey, man, go for it. Here's the money. Boom. Do whatever the hell you want to do. They didn't get it. I don't think he had anybody to answer to for that third season.
There are episodes I definitely liked in this season. I loved the first episode. I thought, you know what? I even said this. I said, subverting expectations in a good way. Surprising the audience. It starts out and you think they're in this big battle, and then it's about Isaac and how the crew is treating Isaac. Isaac is suddenly a pariah. He's someone that is treated like the enemy. And the way Charlie treats him, I thought, was very reminiscent of the way that Sisko treated Picard in the first episode of Deep Space Nine.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated Sisko when he did that. I hated that.
Yeah.
I held a grudge for years because of the way he acted to Picard. Because Picard is not Locutus. Locutus is a completely different entity to Picard. That is not Picard, the man Picard. That is the Borg Locutus. Two different entities.
Agreed.
And when Worf came on board Deep Space Nine and Sisko convinced Worf to stay, I was like, okay. He put that out there to one of Picard's officers, just like Picard tried to convince Sisko to stay and stay in Starfleet, and he didn't put in his transfer order or his resignation. He did the same thing for Worf, and I said, okay, you are forgiven for how you treat Sisko. You are now, or how you treated Picard in the first episode of Deep Space Nine.
Although, yeah, but at the end of the episode, he realized that he was wrong. So.
I'm the same way. I got Hulu just for as long as this season ran. As soon as it finished, I canceled it.
I need to cancel mine. Yeah, I'm done with it. So, Andy
it's
Masterson,
going to Disney Plus now. That's the big thing. It's going to Disney Plus. I'm not going to continue to watch the show on Disney Plus. I didn't get Hulu to watch this. I've got another program that I use. No, I'm not going on pirate channels or whatever and then doing that shit. No, I've got my own little app I use to watch that's not connected to Hulu or Disney. But I will not be watching the show when it goes to Disney. So this will be this.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
I've got my DVD sets of the first 2 seasons. That's all I'll ever need because I don't care about the third season. Andy Masterson is absolutely right, by the way. Andy Masterson said ideologues can't help but be ideologues. That's what Seth MacFarlane is. Sorry, go ahead.
So I really don't understand why they did it on Hulu and then they're dumping it on Disney Plus, which will now be something different. It'll be Disney Plus Premium. They're going to have commercials on Disney Plus now.
Well, they did it so they could make more money. Another streaming service you had to get to watch something that you wanted. A lot of people already had Disney, so they said, we'll just put it on Hulu and make them pick that up.
Yeah.
Moons of Madness says I'm probably dumping Hulu as well because I'm not going to Disney Plus. Monkey Jeebus, yeah, but they only had the connection to Warp because he could sense he was a space brother.
Wow.
Firefly didn't have enough seasons. Orville had too many. Mansquatch.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it turned out that way, but I can't. I guess I can't say that because I wanted season 3 very badly. I could not.
Oh yeah.
I was so excited, and I don't really care about a 4 now. But if 4 came on and they fixed it, which they won't. I mean, I'm just, yeah, I can't
Oh,
say
I'm
that 'cause
like
I
you.
wanted
I
it.
really was looking forward to this season. I
Me
thought,
too.
I mean,
Everybody was.
with I was in anticipation of this, just almost beside
Same here.
myself, waiting for it to come on, and then
Yeah.
oh well.
I saw okay, so this is some of the strangest things. I saw people that I expected to see finish this season dump it mid-season and say I'm not watching anymore. I'm not covering it. I'm
Yeah.
not watching it. I'm
I
not
saw that.
talking about it. And then I saw people that I would have expected to do that completely praise it like it was the best fucking thing since sliced bread.
Well, it's tough. Look, it's tough to. I'm not accusing them of anything, but it is tough to look forward to something that much, and then to go, and then to admit that the emperor has no clothes. I mean, you're just, how do you do it? And not everyone can do that. They'll take anything. Some people will just, if it's something they love and it's got that label on it, like it's called Star Trek or it's called Star Wars or it's called, and you can't, even if they, I'm not saying, I don't know. I'm just saying that I think they'll take it no matter what because they're glad to get it and it's fine and they won't be that discriminatory. And look, God bless you if you can be that way. But
Are you going to give, if they do season 4, are you going to give it a chance?
yeah,
I'll watch
I-
it. I'll start
watch
off watching it, but if it goes the way I'm expecting it would go, I'll probably lose interest even quicker than I
Right.
did this year.
short leash. A short leash, but yeah, I'll watch it too. I mean, I'll give it a shot. I can't believe I'm saying this, man. Again, like I said 10 weeks ago, almost you told me I'd
You
be
would have
here.
never imagined.
Oh no, I was bouncing off the walls. Could not wait to have it back.
Is that do you guys think that that's part of the problem, is that our expectations were so high that it was this is the Star Trek killer. This is Star Trek now. This is what we want. This is what they've been giving us, what we want. This is what we want. Star Trek doesn't give a shit about you. In fact, Star Trek doesn't want you to be a part of it. This ain't your daddy's Trek. We don't want fans like you. We just want this. We want these new fans. We don't want anything to do with the people that have loved and supported us for decades. That's the way Star Trek's treated us.
Well, fake Trek, yeah.
Yeah,
But
and there's
our
still people to
expectations for
this
this,
day. There's still people to this day that are praising Trek and all the crap that they've been doing.
Yeah, you're right. There's always going to be those people.
Yeah,
And again, don't mean to insult anybody unless you like real fake garbage Trek that I'm insulting. I don't care. Kidding. Whatever you want.
if
but-
you like it, you like it. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
I'm
not my cup
poking
of tea.
fun, right? I'm poking fun at them, but they can like whatever they want. But I think they're always going to be those people, Dave. That again, if it's a property they love, like a Batman, Superman, the X-Men, Star Trek, Star Wars, you name it, Lord of the Rings, whatever it is, they're going to be certain people that you can't, even if you can't displease them, you can't chase them away from it. Like I used to say back in starting in 2009 when the Abrams trash started, when they started ruining Star Trek. I had a saying called "Any old Trek called Trek." All you had to do is put that label on it, and they're going to be like hogs at the trough. They're going to just accept anything, and it wouldn't even occur to them if you said, "Dude, that's not Star Trek." They go, "What do you mean it's called Star Trek? I mean, the company that produces it and slops it out there and calls it Star Trek, so I have to call it that too." No, you don't. You don't have to accept it. Who says you have to accept it? I mean, if you really legitimately like it, that's one thing. But if you're just saying it's called Star Trek, I have to accept it. But that mentality is there.
Yep.
With any fandom you can think of.
Yep. Even
Especially
Doctor
Star
Who and what
Doctor
they've
Who?
done to it.
Yep. People go, well,
and
I admit it's not as good, but I still have to watch it. Well, no, I mean, do you really?
at any point you can decide I'm not watching this anymore and sign off.
Yeah.
Sign off. I tell you what,
done.
when STD got to it was the episode where they found the tardigrade, the monster TARDIS or whatever that had taken out the Klingons. when they did the spore drive, I think it was the episode after that where they warped to that planet to fight the Klingons. I was done. I said, nope, I'm done.
Yep.
This is
the moment I saw
stupidest
Mikey,
shit.
the moment I saw Mikey Spock,
Ugh.
when they introduced her as Spock's brother, I was totally out of it. I was gone. That was it.
I think I sat through like maybe eight episodes or so, and I'm like, I think this is fair enough. I can't do it anymore. Anyone who, and I know people who hate it that are still watching it. I'm like, look, I'm not preaching to anybody. I sat through all of P Hard and I hate it, and I've sat through all of that horrible, strange new worms, which is a piece of shit. I don't know anyone can even defend that garbage. But STD, that was one I just couldn't do it. I mean, 8 episodes in, I'm like, what am I doing here? But so I'm not going to criticize anybody for sitting through all of STD. But if you did, what is it, 3 seasons? If you call 12 episodes a season or whatever. I don't know how you did it. I mean, even just, and I hate Strange. I think Strange New Worlds
Cutting the heads off
bad.
babies, cutting the heads off Klingon babies, dropping the F-bombs. The sheer fucking hubris of you, Picard. Shut up, you old bitch. You were on the Enterprise. You served under this man. You absolute fucking cunt. You served under Captain Picard on the Enterprise, and you're going to tell him the sheer fucking hubris. Shut the fuck up. No.
Well, I lost all respect for Patrick Stewart when he went to that show and participated actively in destroying his legacy character.
Yep.
And season 2 is just as bad. I know people like season 1. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they fucking like season 1. I tried to warn people about season 1. People no listen to Loki. And then season 2 comes along and it's like, yeah, no. Screw this.
I hate PR, dude, but since the original series is the most important to me, STD and even more so Strangled Dude Worms are the things I hate the most because Strange New World garbage shits all over the original series, even more than
original
STD
canon.
I mean, and people in the chat love you guys, but you're defending it. They didn't have any good moments at all, Mark. It's a horrible show, man, and it's shit all over. So I mean, this again, and they're still trying to tell you it fits in the canon of the original series. I hate it more.
God dang time crystals and Pike knows all about his future.
All I got to was the Gorn episode, and I didn't even get through the Gorn episode.
What you mean, the xenomorphs?
When the ship comes out of nowhere and attacks, I got half through that episode, and I just said, I'm done. I'm done. Nope. Same thing happened with STD. And
I never sat down.
I had to get through Picard because I reviewed the damn thing.
Yeah, I never actually sat through any of the Strange New Worms or Picard. I would sit there and I would fast forward through crap because I just couldn't watch it. I mean, it just
Good man, Snorty. Yeah.
Well, also, how does they want to be like, oh my God, look at us. We're going to use something political from today to affect tomorrow. You do realize, you dumb twats, that you have made Orange Man the reason why the Federation was created. Did you fucking realize that?
They did that with STD. You know that, right? Because STD in 2016, they were saying the orcs, for example, are Orange Man supporters. So they've been on Orange Man before Strangled Dude Worms and P Hard.
Well, I'm just saying in the timeline, in the official Star Trek timeline.
They put January 6th in there.
Yeah, they put January 6th in there and said this is the reason why we had World War III. This is the reason why we had Federation exists.
And that
And
STD, they made that I don't know, that one lady that ran for governor and didn't get it, Democratic candidate, made her the president of the Earth or something like that.
With Stacey Abrams.
It's
pathetic. It's pathetic. But and then again, see, the thing is, Strangled New Worms, why I hate it more. First of all, it's just this moronic level writing. I don't care about Anson Mount. Good actor, who cares? A lot of good actors. I a lot of good actors. See, but it drives me insane that you could defend Strange New Worms if you love the original series, how you can defend what they did, like the stupid shit with T'Pring. He didn't meet. They shit all over Amok Time right out the gate.
Yeah.
He never met T'Pring until
right.
since he was 7 years old.
Yeah, they were betrothed at 7 years old, and he didn't see her again until Amok Time.
And you could like the show that does that to Amok Time, and then what they did to the Gorn, what they do to Balance of Terra in that horrible last episode. How you can like any of that stuff? I don't understand you as a human being. I can love you, I just don't get you. The claim is you're a Trek fan, and why do you accept? Why that show's terrible? Anson Mount Pike is a wuss. He's got the Enterprise is terrible on the inside. It looks so stupid with him having like a mansion in his quarters when he had and their claim they get having Uhura on that show was unbelievably moronic. Having Chapel on there, having Mabenga on there, having Kirk's brother on there, and then later Kirk.
Yeah, he was never.
I can't stand the chick they have for Uhura. I fucking hated the woman. That is not fucking Nurse Chapel. I don't care what any of you fucks say. That is not Nurse Chapel.
And that dadgum razor, that one with the haircut. Oh God.
Oh, and did you hear what that idiot the actor, whoever she is, the annoying, the unbelievable, they're all bad characters, but what they've done with Spock's horrible and disgusting as well. But she came out and when Shatner was at a couple weeks ago when he's at the con when he said that Roddenberry would be spinning in his grave, that stupid bitch actually called him out and went after Shatner. I'm like, are you moronic or something? Yes, you are. But
she's stupid,
idiot.
Strange New Bedfellows. Yes. That's what I called it from the very beginning. It was Strange New Bedfellows, and that's because I heard about the Spock and Kirk future budding romance.
Oh my God.
And of course all the news outlets were like, oh my God, is he going to be captain yet? Is it going to be Captain Kirk? It can't be Captain Kirk. It has to be Lieutenant Kirk. These fucks didn't even know it was going to be Sam Kirk. It wasn't going to be James T. Kirk. It was going to be Kirk's brother.
He was never in Starfleet. He was a dang scientist.
Let me tell you something what happened with the show. I've said this before when they were working on the show early on, because they talked about it for years, right, before it came out. The whole Sam Kirk bit, this is how it happened. One of the morons who works on this show, who doesn't know anything about Star Trek, one night, it's a Saturday night. It's in California, out there where they live. And he's doing lines up a hooker's ass in his home. And one of them accidentally, they're horsing around and bumps into the remote and it accidentally turns the TV on. And there's MeTV, the Saturday night Star Trek episode. It happens to be Operation Annihilate. And he said, oh, look, it's Star Trek. That's the show I'm working on. I was telling you about. Yeah, look at that. I'm working on this. Oh, wait a minute. What's that? Kirk has a brother? Oh, whoa. And he looks just, he's a twin brother. Look, he looks like Chatler. Wow, he's got a mustache. Oh, let me get on the phone. Give me a second. Let me make a call. And he calls it. Guys, did you know Kirk has a brother? Let's put him on the show, man. That's the unbelievably moronic mentality that works on all of STD, all of the Alex Klutzman, Sucker Outhouse, bad reboot, trash, Jar Jar Abrams filth.
You sure you didn't find it on a flashcard? Because I thought all they worked off was flashcards. They never actually watched Star Trek. They just have flashcards that give them little tidbits. And he was doing the line off the hooker's ass, and she bumped into the table, knocked off the flashcards, and it was like, "Did you know Kirk had a brother?" And he was like, "Oh my fucking God, Kirk's got a brother! Did you know Kirk has a brother?" And they
don't even have flashcards. They got of a whole season. They've got like a 10-word paragraph that describes the whole season, and that's what they go off of.
I cringe more watching that piece of garbage show than I did STD or even P Hard, and that's close. P Hard, I cringe a lot. The cringe on Strangled New Worms is worse for me. I
was under the impression that Spock and Sam Kirk were going to get married, and
Let's hope so.
that's why Spock was so close to Kirk, was because he was like the brother-in-law, and that's why Spock could never have a sexual relationship with Kirk, is because he had a relationship with his brother. And isn't that just heartbreaking, girls? Isn't that just heartbreaking that Spock loved James T. Kirk so much and wanted to be with him, but he couldn't out of respect for his lover, Sam Kirk, who was the brother of Kirk. Oh my God, girls, cheers! Scissor hands! Scissors!
Yeah, and in that one episode where Sam Kirk actually was in real Star Trek, Spock did not know him, had no idea who he was.
Of course not.
And he supposedly served with him on the Enterprise for years.
Not in the real Trek, he isn't. But yeah,
Nope.
you know, another thing about, listen, if you want to address it on a serious level for a second, you have a character in Pike, quote unquote, in quotations, because it's not Pike, Jeffrey Hunter's Pike, folks, where he knows, because of the idiocy that happened on SCD, he knows his fate. Talk about a way to ruin the drama of a TV show.
Yep.
But a character, we know what his fate is going to be 10 years down the line or whatever it is. You cannot be more idiotic writers. These people, I don't know how they even function in normal society. I mean, as to quote Luther from Superman the movie, it's amazing that brain can generate enough power to keep those legs moving. I don't people who write that kind of garbage, I wouldn't trust them to do it. They're driving out there in the streets. People that stupid. And they put Uhura in there. By the way, what happened to Dr. Boyce?
Yeah.
Why is Dr. Mbenga on the ship? And by the way, if Dr. Mbenga were chief surgeon on the Enterprise 10 years before McCoy, why 12 years later or whatever is he subservient to? Why is he like under McCoy?
Yeah.
Morons.
Exactly.
Moron, idiot, jerk-offs. You stupid scumbags. I hate you all. Sorry.
And on that note, guys, we've had our hour. Thank you so very much for being here. I want a big thank you to Klobby and big thank you to Dave Bob for being here today. Thank you guys so very much for coming and talking about this. I don't know when we're gonna do another. I don't know when we're gonna do a part 2 to this. Might be in the future. Might be tomorrow. Might be a week from now. I don't know. But at some point in the future,
sorry, man.
we're gonna do a follow up to this. That's why I put part 1 in the header. We're going to talk about the Orville again. But for now, we're out of here. Anything you guys want to throw out before we get going?
Dave?
Buy Daga's book.
Buy Daga's book. Buy Daga's book. Daga's got 2 books. Daga's got The Blood Witch. Daga's got Evolution. And the new book, they are working on the cover for now, and as soon as that's done, Evolution's going to come down. The hardback's going to come down off of Amazon, so get your hardback while you can. And that hardback will be replaced with the hardback of part 2 in the Daga's Evolution campaign. So get that book while you can, guys.
Indeed. Well, you doing a show tonight?
We are doing a show tonight. We're also going to have a game stream later for Spider-Man, for the Spider-Man remastered on PC.
Oh, cool.
So we're gonna have a game stream later. We're gonna have a stream tonight at 10 p.m. The return of Mexican Iron Man to the Friday Night Late Show.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. That'll be absolute blast. Can't wait to see you guys. But until then, take care. Be excellent to each other.
Everybody.
Always speak friend to enter. We'll see you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.